the big news this week, Montreal made a big move. Okay.
Crazy.
So people have been expecting this for a while. They didn't do anything at they didn't do anything at the trade. They didn't do anything at during the year. So was it a couple of days ago? They made the Laine trade. It was a lot of talk. I didn't expect it was gonna happen, but it happened. And what do you guys think about the pickup?
I'm curious to see how this turns out. I'm a big Patrick Laine fan. He always produced for his teams, downs in his careers, and the way he stands for a team, like I'm how do you say it? Like, like a player, he defends his team, he stands up for his team. Some players are just like not team players.
I don't think he's a player that stands up for his team. He's very risky.
That's what I'm trying to get to. Is that I've seen him in his early days. He used to stand up for what was it, Winnipeg?
No, he's a very selfish player. He's a me player. He's not a 200 feet player.
You think he's still like that?
But he's a sniper. Right now, he's Montreal's best scorer. He can put, he's better than.
I won't argue with that. Yeah,
but he's a me type of player. If he doesn't get the ice time, it's him. It's gotta be me. That's that character.
I was
up and downs, but
I was super like, what the hell? At first, I didn't think this was actually gonna happen. Cause it's been a few weeks, let's say, that they've been discussing the Laine thing. I'm like, and I was like, I was so turned off from his demeanor, right? It's his demeanor I felt is a problem. Where like, he's not a team player in general, but now I think it's worth a shot, especially that we just Jordan Harris. That's nothing.
The market switch. Columbus was asking for a lot. A lot of teams were offering, but I think Columbus wanted like assets back, and they were willing to retain salary, and it just wasn't happening. So I didn't see Montreal giving up a lot of prospecting salary just to get Laine, especially to get a problem and a risk.
Mm-hmm.
But now, for a 2-year contract where they can take on all the salary and at the same time get back an asset, a second-round pick, I think it's worth it.
Gentleman's agreement. I'll explain to you what it is, okay? We're doing all this mumbo jumbo. We're talking. We're having a good time. We're putting out this great content. But the least you guys can do is actually press that like button, subscribe, and you'll get to see us all the time, anytime, everywhere we go. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
It's a good risk.
Yeah, of course.
It's still a risk. But at the end of the day, it ends up being a problem. It's 2 years, and you can always cut ties, and then Montreal's not going to compete in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah, but
at least you have a second line.
But it's always another 2 years. It's always like,
look,
man, I feel like it's like back in the days of like, if it doesn't work out, we're gonna push. Maybe in 2 years, 3 years, we're gonna be good.
They're still developing. They're still developing. A lot of people are saying, why are you bringing him in when you're taking away a spot for people to develop? I agree. If it was a second or third line, you have nobody that can fill in the second line right now. You don't have players. You know who's taking up spots in the team? Gallagher, Anderson, Armia. Get rid of them, because it's player like Roy and all those other guys that are going to come in. They're going to end up being third or fourth line players. You don't have another player to solidify that second line. So right now, while you're waiting for Demidov, you have Laine, and you help the other players who are playing on your second line develop.
Hey, To, what about Pascal Vincent? Is that what?
That's another good thing.
So that exactly, right? So Pascal Vincent, he has plenty of experience with Laine.
Well, he was the head coach.
Exactly.
Right.
So
I don't think Montreal just decided, okay, it's a good deal, let's go.
So they saw
They
this
have
coming.
that on the system. I think they did their due diligence, no?
Yeah.
Mm.
The influence came.
Listen, when I saw Brian's text, it goes the line. I was surprised. I didn't think it was gonna happen.
Mhm.
And when I saw that they got a second round pick without even looking, I knew they must have took on the whole salary. And then
Yeah.
after looking, they took. I think it's good,
And they got a second round too, right?
which is good. If it
It's
doesn't work
crazy.
out, they got an asset.
At least they got an ass.
And who's to say that he does that? St. Louis works with him. He does great, and then at the end of the year they trade him, flip him for more. You know, I wouldn't trade him for a first round. They don't need that anymore. I would try to get him for a young prospect or a young, already developed player ready to go to that he's ready to go into the team and help this team because Montreal is not in is in a second to third stage right now. You know, now they have the players, they have the team. Now they're trying to grow.
They don't need the
So-
players to
so
go
in the
into
next 2
development
years-
and
They're gonna grow, and maybe in the next after that they're ready to compete. You know, that's what I think.
when do you see the Montreal Canadiens hitting the playoffs with a solid team?
Well, with Laine,
Like in how
it's
long?
possible they make the playoffs next year. Nothing's impossible. No,
No, but like, I mean, they're heading into the playoffs with a team.
listen, they're in the
But you say
toughest
building.
division. They're in the toughest division in the NHL by far. The Atlantic. They're not better than Boston. They're definitely not better than Tampa. They're
Everyone's
definitely not better
rebuilding
than
though.
Florida.
Everyone in their division is rebuilding right now. Like Tampa's
Well,
not going to be the same.
No, but
Boston's
they're still
not the
better.
same.
Tampa's still better. They're still competitive.
Right.
I think Tampa's gonna make the playoffs.
The Stamkos is not there. You know, Bruins are going to be missing a lot of players. Not
The Bruins are still better than Montreal. Ottawa is a questionable decision. I
Right.
don't know what they're gonna do up and down.
Right.
But apart from Ottawa, who else is lower than Montreal? Huh? Who else?
Again,
Anybody?
Slavkovsky's so tall. He's
Who?
such a big guy. Slavkovsky. A freaking Laine now. Yeah, Kirby. Bro, what? That's solid. Then you
I'm,
have
I'm
like
thinking they actually have a very good chance. Like quicker than I thought they would.
They do, but
Of making this not dream team, but like enough of this. Oh, maybe they'll make this playoffs this year. No, we're making a run. If the if the Canadians are building, you don't think they're going to do it in the next
it's
2
a
to
long
3 years?
shot, but it's a possibility. With Laine in the team, if he can get back to his first 3 seasons in NHL and score 35, 40 goals.
You're talking about the Laine.
Yeah. Then you have Caulfield who can score
Who can
and
complete.
is not he doesn't have that pressure, you know, and he's gonna be putting
guys,
in
the
40,
power
40
play.
goals.
Think about
Yeah,
the power play.
That's
Holy cow.
That's a good point.
that's going to be
Jeez,
huge.
what a change.
I have a
You got
question for
Lane
you.
Hudson.
When was
Power
the
play.
last time you saw a power play?
How would you
like
run?
this?
How would you structure your power play with the type of players they have now? Would you do 3 forwards into defense, or would you do 4 forwards?
Four
Four
forwards,
and then the defense.
1D.
4 forwards, 1D.
Yeah, I'd have
Absolutely.
Caulfield in the back.
When was the last
because
time you could
Laine
do
is-
this?
Huh?
When was the last time the Canadians can play
You kidding me?
strong
Never,
4 forwards on a
never.
PP?
They can have 2 solid power play lines because they can't put everybody there.
No.
I think it's worth that one. Like, you know, like
Yes.
Your question,
solid.
your Pat, your question was the last time
When was the last time
the Habs can only have one?
Well,
Well, used
one
one
solid.
defenseman.
one defenseman and 4 solid forwards on their PP?
70s.
That's it. So
Yeah,
now
with
that you
Gila
brought up a
Fur
good
over
point, you're like, you can actually have one power play. You know that dream team of like having, you know, I'm not gonna name names and teams, but like you always have those teams that their number one power player. Like, man, these guys, how can they not get off the ice without scoring? It's
So pumped.
this is it's the first
So
time in a
cool.
long time that you're building a strong.
But they're
power
also
play.
young, right? So
Liney's taking Caulfield's spot in the power play. That's for sure. Most likely.
one's gonna be a bumper. It depends
Caulfield's
what it
probably
is.
going to be freaking. He's probably going to, like,
Lanny's got a sick one time, or he's their best scorer.
yeah, of course.
If he gets back to where he's supposed to be.
He should.
where he should be.
No one has mentioned the elephant in the room. Is a recovering something. I don't know if it's alcohol.
Gamer. Gamer.
Huh? The gamer.
Obsessed with gaming.
That's
Who?
what it is?
Ooh,
Laine.
Mane.
and mental issues. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We all know.
Oh, I thought it was substance abuse.
I don't know if
Oh,
that's
a little
involved
bit.
too, but he went into the players' assistance program.
Association.
He just
Yeah,
came
yeah.
out of it.
But usually for substance abuse.
Usually.
Yeah, there is substance abuse.
That's actually gaming.
It's deeper than that, than drugs,
Is
okay?
it?
It's gaming, fuck.
He's
Anyways,
big into gaming. But
Montreal, I think, is the worst city for recovering.
Substance
Start saying
abuse.
the clubs.
Radulov, but when he came, everybody was so scared because there's guy.
Relapse.
He's not going to make it.
He did great in Montreal.
But he's older.
Yeah, but he
was
was a
older
different
when he
player.
He's
came.
getting.
Yeah, he's probably married, had kids. He's probably
Laine just got engaged. So
Okay.
Listen,
don't forget, Laine's 26 years old. He's a kid still.
you have to understand it. He came from Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Winnipeg, Columbus. I'm sure they don't have crazy nightlife. It's like Montreal.
See,
It's gonna be tempting.
yeah, for sure.
He'll see.
I know, but
He'll see.
the core of this team is
You'll see.
so different, though. I think they're much more responsible than back in the day.
Spotlight's on you, though. Like, you're expected to.
Also the
produce-
pressure.
Yeah. Well, it's Montreal.
He has an addiction. And he's gonna handle the pressure, the press, and all that.
I agree.
In Montreal, that could break somebody. That could definitely break somebody.
That's what I'm curious to see is if the Canadians are going to stand up. I hope that Patrick comes into the locker room and players around him are going to be like, let's do it. Man, I'm feeling this.
The only
This is
thing,
the year.
the only thing I want is that he can be selfish, like it was in Winnipeg and Columbus, saying I'm the man, because I see him as a second line and give the spotlight to the younger guys who have the potential to develop to be those superstar players like Savkovsky. You know,
Tony, do you think he maybe did that based on immaturity because of his age? He wouldn't be the
Yeah.
first player that did that. That came in as I'm a superstar. This is my team. I'll
Well,
carry it.
listen,
You guys follow me. But I'm 22. I'm 21. He had that attitude.
he's young. He didn't know any better. I'm great. I know I can score. I want the spotlight on me, of course. Immaturity. Hopefully, what he went through in the program
Is he going to let
maybe
that by?
change his mindset. Yeah.
You think in Montreal he's going to come in and he's going to be a team player?
This is why I think Montreal
Yeah.
just didn't just make a decision because of his name. This is why I'm thinking.
Okay.
I still think it's a risk, but I think it's a good risk.
So you think he matured as a player and he's going to.
Well, eventually people mature, right?